Hey, Ragmop and Goose, we are going live any second now. Who do you want to do a shout out to? And we're going to do all three of you. Ragmop, who do you want to shout out to?
I want to shout out to my Aunt Joyce, who I hope figured out how to click the link to watch this, and my mom and my dad.
Goose, who do you want to do a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to my family and to David Arquette. Love you. Love your puppet work. And shout out to anybody who loves puppets.
I love puppets, so you can shout out to me too. And then we've got a special guest with us, Honey Butter Popcorn. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
I would love to give a shout out to Kermit the Frog. I love you so much. You're a huge inspiration in my life. And I wish I were green, but I also love black and yellow as well.
Excellent. All right, guys, here we go. All right, guys, for everybody watching today, we have an amazing show coming up. We've got, oh my gosh, can I just say that I just deleted and erased everything that we just wrote today? We've got the amazing puppeteers. It's one of those days. So we're just going to have to fake it here. We've got Ragmop and Goose with us today and Honey Butter Popcorn. So it doesn't get any better than that. And I love the fact that you guys are here. You're going to talk about therapy puppets. We're going to talk about the amazing work that you do. We're going to talk about puppet adoptions. And let's jump right into this. And I've got to ask one question from Honey Butter Popcorn.
Sure.
Honey Butter Popcorn, what are your pronouns?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. My pronouns are be, him. And that's who I am.
I love that. Be, him. Mine, I'm not even sure I have pronouns myself. So the fact that you've got be, him is excellent. So let's jump right into this. And by the way, everyone who's watching and you may have questions or want to ask questions of Ragmop and Goose, please put them in the comments and I will see if we can get them up on the screen and we can ask those cool questions today. So I'm going to start at the very, very beginning. How did you guys get into puppetry and how did you just know that you had to do puppetry for a living?
You want to start?
It's always such a hard question to answer because it's really just like a series of events over the course of my life. I grew up loving puppets, was still like secretly watching Sesame Street and puppet shows like well into high school.
Yes.
And when I was 24, I saw the documentary Being Elmo, which is just all about Kevin Clash and like just like creating the character of Elmo and how he got to work with Jim Henson. And that inspired me. And I immediately, like, as soon as the movie was over and I was like crying, I like Googled like puppet making workshop in LA. And this was in 2014. And I made a puppet, fell in love with it. A year later, met Gus. I had already had silly puppet videos on my Instagram. So I was nervous when we met, like that he was going to deep dive through my Instagram and be like, oh man, this girl likes puppets. That's so weird.
That was one of the first things I mentioned. I was like, you have puppets? Oh, I love it.
So you just like come up with these puppet things and like, oh, that's kind of cool. We should like get together and do puppets together. What was the first puppet you guys did together?
Well, that was actually, so the puppet that Jessie had made, its name was Turkey. Mm-hmm. And I was over at her house and I was puppeteering with it. And for some reason, she was like on I think calling about like the internet to like Spectrum or something like that. And
I was calling Burbank Water and Power to
that's set up So set up Water and Power. And I had the puppet and I was mimicking who was ever on the other side as the puppet and making it look like they were the ones like we were talking to. And that was kind of the first thing where we were like, this is really funny and it's fun and we're just enjoying this. So
that was 2015. So we just, literally from that point up until now, we've just been gradually posting more and more silly little puppet videos. And then, TikTok came around and we posted a couple on there and they just expanded, like just spread all over. And within the last year, we have had such an incredible amount of growth that it was sometime last year after you went viral, honey.
That's true.
We kind of looked at each other like, wait, we might be able to do this like full time. So that's when we just sunk our teeth into everything and just went full deep dive.
That is awesome. So I have to ask you a question, and you may want to cover Honey Butter Popcorn's ears. I see that you're in your workshop right now, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys create puppets and you do this adoption thing. Uh-huh. Now, to me, this is like with chefs, they bake a cake. I can't imagine cutting a cake that some of the chefs bake, right? How is it that you like make the puppets, don't they get offended, and don't you feel bad when you have to get rid of them? They're like, to me, they're like kids.
No. Honey's full aware of all that. He knows
He's
actually everything that's going on. We're talking about how we make puppets. Oh yeah. No, I know all about it. I've seen it all happen. I've seen how the cakes are made. It's
So
yeah.
we don't just make puppets, we clone puppets. We have a science lab where we extract the DNA of like extinct species of puppets. And Honey is actually our lab doctor's assistant. And often, is part of the cloning process. So he's very well aware.
Through my mistakes, a lot of puppets have been made. So
yeah. So I think you had asked, how do we give them away? Is that what you're?
Yeah, you give them away. Don't they become like close to you and like they're little babies, and it's like you don't want to get rid of them?
I mean, there is.
Listen, there are some that we made a connection with that we no longer have, but we're happy that the people who adopted them are so happy to get them. We're happy to just spread that joy and happiness to someone else. So
that's so funny.
It's a little bit sad in some ways, but in others, we're just happy to spread that towards somebody else.
Yeah,
the world. So.
I know people that foster like animals, like the kittens and puppies and stuff. And every time you have to give up the foster to either go to a new home or back to the shelter, people are like, "Oh my God, it's the worst day of my life." And I understand that.
Yeah.
So, honey butter popcorn, I hope you never have to go away because
no. Honey's our baby.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
That's the other thing. Like if there is a puppet that we do fall in love with, we just make one for ourselves.
So you guys, to me, like the puppets they're people, and you guys do therapy with puppets and go around and tell me just about the therapy and how it makes people happy and what you do with all that.
I think it's like such an unplanned benefit of like the videos that we post online. We get so many comments from people around the world saying like they had a bad day and this cheered them up, or they're just going through a really rough time. And so I think it's just there's something about puppetry that has this like direct connection to your inner child and just maybe sparks a memory that you otherwise wouldn't have had if you didn't see like a cute little puppet video on the internet. So I think, it's just one of those.
We've done some puppet making classes with friends, and to see our friends' inner childs, come out, you see the switch. It's a very interesting thing when it's like, at first you're just kind of making a puppet. And then once you start to add the personality to it, your childlike personality comes out into it. And so you see that switch in people, and it's awesome to see, adults want to play and have fun. So
see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's why I couldn't give up my puppet. If I made one, nope, that's my puppet. Dog cannot play with the puppet. Oh my gosh. So hey, honey, when was the last time you went out and did some therapy with people?
Well, let me think about this. Well, recently I went out and just really smelled the flowers. I found a beautiful dandelion that I loved, and I think we took a video of that, and I think that video really affected some people, and saw through my happiness, they found happiness. So yeah.
What's the most surprising thing you learned about the benefits of being a puppet and actually doing therapy? What's been really shocking to you? Really got stung about it.
No, that's a deep one. But I guess it's when a puppet isn't being puppeteered, there's a little bit of emptiness. But when a puppeteer does put life into us, I feel fulfilled. I feel like my life's has meaning, and I feel happiness and joy.
So, honey, do you have a mate?
I have a lot of cousins, and I also have a little son, but I don't have a mate personally, and that's okay. I'm fine with it.
What's your son's name?
Honey Butter Jr.
So then you are Honey Butter Senior.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, we've never actually referred to myself, but yeah, I'm Honey Butter Popcorn Senior.
Who's your favorite cousin, honey?
Oh, I'd probably have to say Cupcake. Honey Butter Cupcake is probably my favorite, and then close behind that is Honey Butter Goober.
So you're like the Vulcans. You got like the same names going on there, like Honey Butter.
Yeah. keeps carrying.
Yeah.
Now, Honey Butter's first or Honey Butter's second name, or is it in the B world? It's backwards.
It's backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
So back to you guys, Ragmop and Goose. What are some of the challenges you find with making some of the puppets? Like, what's the hardest thing that you got going on?
I think right now, like keeping up with the demand, like we've had so much rapid growth and they take a long time to make. And there's so many people out there that want some of our puppets. So it's like, oh my gosh, we can only make so many at a time. Like we can make 10 this week, but there's like hundreds of people who've said that they want them. So I think that's the hardest thing is like wishing that we could provide it for everybody who wants it.
Yeah, that's definitely just, I mean, it's mainly just the two of us and that's it. And
yeah,
it's been amazing to see the demand that we have from people that are like, I want one. And that's exactly what we want in the world, is to bring back puppets and bring back the physical play, you know?
Yeah.
And so
and we hired an assistant like last September, but like they're very, very part-time. You know, we take them on whenever we can afford to, like, you know, have the extra labor. And they've been such a blessing to help us, like just with the making process. We're able to make a little bit more when they're here. But yeah, I mean, I think really the hardest thing is managing everything that our business encompasses, because we are writing the content, we're filming the content, we're editing the content. Behind that, we are making puppets, we're packaging them, we're answering emails, we're going out and buying supplies, like we're designing things, it's so much work. I mean, we're working constantly.
Do you want to stay like just the two of you? Well, three of you, or do you want to like turn into like a Henson Studios or something like that?
I mean, honestly,
actually,
that's the goal. Like to have.
We went and saw an exhibit on Bob Baker, who has out here in LA. It's the Bob Baker Marionette Theater, and that was a big thing out here. And he had an exhibit, and he had dreams of doing kind of like the same thing Henson did, of having this Bob Baker studio where it was like you could make marionettes and puppets, you could learn how to use them, how to work them, and there was a performance stage for kids and shows and everything like that.
In a school.
And he had this whole dream, and he had it all like blueprinted out of what he wanted to do, and he never got to achieve it. And after seeing that, we really were like, you know, that would be a dream, of having a whole production to be able to do this and really on a larger scale bring puppets back to the world.
Yeah.
So
that's very cool. That's very, very cool. I want to jump back into the therapy just for a second, because Abby Smith has a question. It says, we commonly associate puppets in therapy with children, but how can you guys see puppetry being applied in therapy with adults, and what kind of possibilities do you see with that? Good question, Abby.
I mean, I think puppets really kind of like it drops a layer from people where you might have trouble at least like communicating with stuff. There's for some reason it transfers a lot easier into a puppet and out.
Yes, I can attest to that.
Yeah.
So I am not a performer. Gus is, like, I mean, he's trained as an actor. I want to be away from the camera. I want to be behind the camera. I don't want to be in front. But when I have a puppet on my hand, it's like suddenly I have this burst of like self-confidence, and I'm able to speak so like effortlessly through the puppet. And so I feel like for adults, maybe whether like if they're the person struggling and they're talking to the puppet through therapy, or they're talking, you know, with the puppet, I feel like it can just channel this like subconscious part of your mind that maybe you're not normally connected to.
Yeah. Honey, how do you feel about that?
Oh, absolutely.
You have no filter, honey?
No, not at all. Not at all. There's times when I think Goose's ADHD just really flies through me. So
Oh my gosh. So when do you ever get like hugs from people, honey?
Oh, honey gets hugs all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time. We get spotted. We went to Comic-Con, and we had people coming up asking if they could take my picture, and I love it, because even people who are afraid of bees love me.
Yeah.
And
I think that's great. Afraid of puppets.
Yeah.
We've had a lot.
Oh my gosh, talk about that, because I know there's people who are afraid of clowns, and I get that, because like Barney, the little purple monster thing, just scared me to death. And people are afraid of puppets too.
Yeah. We've received a lot of comments from people saying, like, you know, I don't like puppets, or puppets scare me, or I hated them as a kid, but like this video is actually cute and making me, reconsider how I feel. And it just feels great. It just seeing all these little instances of like how our puppets are impacting people, just reading through comments. It's like, whoa, I can't believe that something we're doing really like for our own fulfillment and enjoyment is like expanding to other people. And we just think that's awesome.
I think that's astounding. So I personally am now going to have to buy puppets, and I'm going to start collecting the little finger puppets. Talk about the adoption days and how people can get involved with that.
Yeah, so every month we host an adoption day where the puppets that we cloned are sent off to fulfill their life's purpose, which is, help a child or adult like with their self-expression or creativity.
And then the adoption days kind of change on the month depending on what
we have time to do.
What we have time to do, or what happens in the lab and through experiments and everything.
Which cloning concoction Honey tends to mix up.
The whole reason we had we had cat versions of our puppets because our cat got into the mixing pot and some of the fur got mixed in, and so it created all these cat versions of them. So you never know what you're gonna get each month of what comes out of the lab.
Yeah,
that is funny.
A new theme introduced each month when we can. So this month for March, we're doing all green because Honey dropped some green food coloring into the cloning mix. So.
It was an accident. It was a happy accident. Yeah. I think they're really cute.
Yeah, so we just have an array of green puppets who are ready to go to their new homes.
We got to keep Honey out of the lab.
Yeah.
All right. What's this one coming up? And your Patreon, people who are part of the Patreon get first dibs on puppets. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they also get to vote. Sometimes we'll put up things of like, hey, what do you like more? Which of these puppets do you like? And they get to vote and decide on what will be up for adoption or what we'll do with stickers or pins. So it's a fun environment. We're working more and more on the Patreon to be kind of a community of of puppet loving people.
Yeah. And
well,
they get, like, behind the scenes. Oh, sorry.
No, I think that's fantastic. I love the fact that puppets might be able to rule the world,
Fantastic.
Yeah, Honey,
we're going to take over.
We can get Honey to run for president. We might get something going on there. We never know. Hey, I'm going to do something a little bit different with you guys. Okay. We're going to play this or that. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. And let me see. I've got group questions and I've got individual questions. So let me throw out some questions and we'll see who answers them. But you've got two choices. You can answer. You have to answer one, other. You can't say neither or both. That's the way the game is played, okay? Simple questions. Let's start with hand puppets or marionettes?
Oh. Okay, I know my answer.
If you know yours, go.
I have to say marionettes. I love marionettes.
I'm going to say hand puppets. I'm going to say hand puppets.
Clearly.
Hand puppets all the way.
Can we explain why? I know you're, So like I said, I'm not a performer. So like doing the puppets, like I just don't have the natural charisma that he does. But with marionettes, usually our marionette characters are mutes. They don't talk. And that's great for me. Like I love just being able to like use their body language to express themselves. So that's.
I like to speak. So.
Okay. How about this? How about comedy or drama in puppet shows?
Comedy.
Okay.
Comedy.
How about sewing by hand or using sewing machine for puppet making?
Hand sew.
Hand.
Yeah.
Hand sew. So you're gonna have to hire a bunch of people. Okay. How about performing in front of a live audience or creating content on for online platforms?
I choose creating content on online platforms.
I actually would choose live. Because I love, like, when we go places like Comic-Con and stuff like that, I just walk around with a puppet and I talk to people. And even like we've gone to like the fabric district and I'll just be on the sidewalk walking around. I'm like, hey, I like your shirt. Oh, I like, that's a nice hat you got on. And people will just like stop in their normal life of like, oh my gosh, that's a puppet talking to me, and like smile. So I like the live stuff of like being able to just kind of bring that out in people anytime.
So Honey, do people stop and talk to you?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, I get laughs, points. Wait, are they making fun of me? No. Okay. No. They're happy to see me.
Okay. Oh my gosh. How about natural materials like wood or synthetic materials like foam?
That depends, I think, on the puppet that we're making and the look that we're going for. I mean, obviously, like, just environmentally, we would want to use more natural materials. But we use a lot of wood for our marionettes, and then for the puppets, it's a lot of synthetic. Like, this is faux fur.
So what's your answer?
Probably.
Thank you.
Probably synthetic materials, just because there's more variety in its color and texture.
I'm gonna say natural because I'm also a woodworker.
That's right. Yeah.
How about puppeteering for for adults or for a younger audience?
I'm gonna say, for me, younger.
Okay, like younger, like
children, like 10 and under.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say adults.
How did you two get together?
Hey, we bounce each other out. This
I
is
know,
why,
that's
this is why
it,
it works. We're covering all grounds here.
Okay. How about intricate custom costumes for the puppets, or focusing mainly on facial features? Costumes or facial features?
Costumes or facial features?
I'm answer.
I'm probably just gonna say facial features.
Same. Yeah. Facial features.
Because I look, we love costumes.
Uh-huh.
Costumes look adorable on them, but like just this of like,
just look into the camera, honey.
Look into the camera. There we go. I'm gonna go with you on facial features too.
The look I always give is I'll turn and be like, just stare. I'll do that just across the room, just stare at her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, how about making a puppet adaptation of a classic story, or creating an entirely original puppet story?
Original.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah.
Making music videos or making movies?
Oh. Okay, let me think about this, because there's benefits.
There's benefits to both.
Yeah.
There are.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Movies.
Yeah. Mine was movies. I was like,
Have you got a story in mind already for like
Yes.
a
we have a lot of stuff that we want to do when we
Mhm.
can have more of a budget and more of a team with us.
There is a short film that we wrote, starring a puppet years ago, like in 2019, that we really want to get the green light on. We just need production.
Go high level on it and just tell us just a teeny bit about it.
Without spoiling the end.
Don't spoil the end, because I'm then.
That's it.
It tells the story of a seemingly mundane life between a human and a sweet little blue puppet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
the
about as far as
everyday
we could
life.
go.
Yeah. The
everyday life of a puppet.
Yeah. Life of a puppet living with his friend. Yeah. Who is a human.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it out there one more time for anyone who's got questions for Ragmop and Goose. Throw them in the comments. In the meantime, I want people who are thinking and want to come back later to be able to get in touch with you guys. And you've got your website, ragmopandgoose.com. That's easy enough to remember. Honey, do you have a website of your own, or are you there on that site?
Oh no, I'm just there.
Mhm.
I do quality control checking over here. That's my job.
Yeah, you do the checklist.
Yeah, I do the checklists.
Awesome. All right. So guys, I love doing this. I could keep talking to you forever and ever. And one of these days we'll have to come back. You're going to show us how to birth a puppet.
Oh yeah. We'd love that.
And then, by the way, when you do the adoptions, is that something we could actually show live? Like you pull a number out of a hat and go, number 13, you have won another honeybee, or something like that.
No, we do have we don't do them that way, but we will have a video that's coming out where we went to a thrift store and bought materials. We did a challenge where we could only buy materials from a thrift store and then made puppets out of them. And the 2 puppets that we made, I think we're going to end up giving them away, raffling them away for free. So that will be coming up. That will do that. So.
Yeah, we got to have all 3 of you back on, and I want to see Walnut next time too, and just say, "Hey, Walnut, what up?"
Yeah.
We can definitely do that.
Here, Abby says, "Not a question, but I love you guys. As a new builder, your content is so inspiring."
Thank you so much.
Fantastic! Thank you, Abby.
Yeah.
There you go. And I think somebody also said Discord would be fun for patrons to talk all about puppets and share within the
Yes.
community. So,
Yes,
do you guys have a Discord yet?
No, that is something I've thought about. I was just kind of waiting for like our Patreon community to grow a little bit, but now that we've had, you know, the last couple weeks growing so much that maybe it's time to do that, because that is kind of like one of our end goals is connecting all the people who have either adopted puppets from us or maybe are making their own puppets like with each other, so everyone can learn and lean on each other and like share their work and their creativity and everything. So, and
also people have found connections with themselves in our puppets, and so we kind of want to connect those communities of like, okay, if you identify as a pinky person or a zigzag person, it's like, now you can have your community of people you all kind of connect with a little bit. So
that is awesome. Guys, it has been like so fun talking with you. I love this. Honey, I definitely want you to come back next time, bring Walnut with you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having us.
We will do this many more times. I love it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
I'll see you in the future. Bye.
Bye.